What's up, guys? I'm Nobody Special, and back with another update on the story that nobody is talking about, the situation in the Strait of Hormuz and the hijacking of the the asphalt bitumen tanker, Asphalt Princess, as well as the suspected disabling or otherwise damaging of several other vessels in the area. Um, so this update came in last night. Suspected ship hijack ends as tensions with Iran soar. And it would appear as if the hijackers on the Asphalt Princess left the ship at around midnight last night. I'll just read you off the article here. This is on Yahoo Finance, but it's a Bloomberg article. A suspected hijacking of a vessel near Iran has ended after stoking tensions already inflamed by a deadly drone attack on an Israeli-managed tanker in the same area. The Panama-flagged Asphalt Princess was briefly boarded by armed men on Tuesday halfway between Iran and the UAE in the Gulf of Oman, according to a Gulf government official. The men then left the vessel around midnight local time, the official said. Bloomberg was unable to contact the ship's Dubai-based owner or operator to confirm the information. So that is basically the extent of the new developments. I've seen that from a couple of sources now that basically says the hijacking has ended, the incident has terminated, the hijackers have left the vessel, and hard stop. Nothing about the condition of the ship, nothing about the condition of the crew, nothing about the other vessels involved. So again, this story is very strangely being smothered, being buried. I was kind of saying yesterday in my update that I cannot for the life of me understand how this story is not getting wall-to-wall coverage. This is a big deal, and it's being swept under the rug. Now, when I say swept under the rug, I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, because there's, it's not like nobody is denying it, and, reporters trying to cover it aren't disappearing in the middle of the night or anything like that. I mean, the story has been acknowledged by the government, at least briefly in passing, but it has not gotten any real attention. And again, almost a quarter of the world's oil flows through the Strait of Hormuz. With the exception of maybe the Panama Canal, this is probably the single most vital maritime trade route in the world, the Strait of Hormuz. I can't think of another small passage where more wealth and material flows in a given day than the Strait of Hormuz. And any potential disruption of navigation in this strait is a huge deal, especially considering the fragile economic state that the world is in, the state of inflation. Any threat to energy prices could really send the inflation issue spiraling out of control, and this story is just not getting coverage. So one other update I do want to mention, and this came from Argus Media, which is an energy research firm, basically a commodities firm, and they had obtained or otherwise gained access to the recording between the Asphalt Princess and the Omani Coast Guard. And I'll read you a little bit here. A group of Iranians boarded a tanker that was subject to a potential hijack situation in the Gulf of Oman yesterday, according to a recording of communications between the ship and the UAE Coast Guard heard by Argus. I'm sorry, I said it was the Omani Coast Guard a second ago. It was the UAE Coast Guard. In the recording, a crew member identified the tanker as the Asphalt Princess, said that there were 5 to 6 Iranians on board and that the ship was drifting. Asked what the Iranians wanted, the crew member said he did not understand and suggested the Coast Guard talk directly to them. The crew member said that the Asphalt Princess had departed Bandar Abbas, an Iranian port in the Strait of Hormuz. Vortex has said that it was destined for Sohar, Oman. I apologize if I mispronounced anything. The incident has now concluded, the UK Maritime Trade Operations said today. Boarders have left the vessel. Vessel is safe. Incident complete. The UK Navy-linked organization said. Yesterday it had said the incident was not related to piracy. That's interesting and convenient, right? All right, boarders have left the vessel. Vessel safe. Incident complete. Nothing to see here. go about your business, go about your insignificant little lives. Um, Again, the flippant treatment this story is getting from authorities and from the press really surprises me. Uh, so, really, considering the total lack of coverage in the press, I mean, the best source of information, or I should say, the only of sources of information I've had has been little hints on Twitter that I have been attempting to go and independently verify some way, which has been difficult. But also marine traffic, the marine traffic website has been very useful. And I want to bring that up again because this at least gives us real-time information of what's going on the water. Now, here we have the Asphalt Princess. She's listed as underway using engine, doing 5 knots, which is not a lot of speed, but it's moving. It's no longer in the not under command status. And I just want to show the course that she's taken. So, I mean, if you look at her course, she really hasn't done much. You know, here she was last night. She drifted, and then she kicked in her engines, but she's really just kind of holding position here, never moving more than a couple of miles any which way. We don't know the status of the ship. We don't know if it's been damaged. But it underway using engine is a good sign, I guess. Again, no status on the crew. The last information was received 53 minutes ago from the AIS system. Now, there were several other boats that were affected by the situation yesterday. Again, these boats have not gotten a lot of attention in the press. The Queen Helena was one that I was watching very closely. Again, not mentioned in any of the media ports. But here's the Queen Helena. Now, she has moved through the Strait of Hormuz. She's now to the west of the strait in the Persian Gulf, or at least the Persian Gulf side of the strait. Not under command, doing 4.1 knots. And when you zoom in on the Queen Helena, you can see it looks like she's still under tow. Here's the Diva, an offshore supply ship, and she's been just out in front of the Queen Helena since last night. So whatever happened to the Queen Helena, she's not under her own power. At least it doesn't appear she's under her own power. And being very carefully dragged through the strait last night. I don't know where they're taking her. And the Queen Helena is an oil chemical tanker, but that was one of the ships that was affected. Now, I counted as many as 11 ships in the Strait of Hormuz last night that were either mentioned in the articles as being disabled or the hijacked Asphalt Princess or otherwise in this not under command status. And I want to go through a couple of these. Here is the Kamdenhu. Again, apologize for my pronunciation. The Kamdenhu has moved. Again, she's also to the west of the strait now in the Persian Gulf side. But she's still showing as not under command. Last information received a minute ago, so she's updating. And the past track, you can see whatever happened to the Kamdenhu, it was able to traverse the strait over the course of yesterday and last night. But again, this vessel is listed as not under command, which means either a loss of steering, a loss of propulsion, or some other issue that the crew is not in control. Let's look at some of the other ones. We showed the Queen Helena. The Desh Vibov, again, pronunciation. Show her on the map. She was listed as not under command yesterday. And she's now showing as underway using engine 2 minutes ago. But again, if you look at her track, she really hasn't moved more than a couple of miles every which way. This is a very narrow passage of water, so she's not going anywhere fast. And she's doing 1.1 knot, which, you know, really, at that speed, she could be drifting, really. Now, the Golden Brilliant was the ship that, again, unconfirmed, but that was the ship that had been mentioned. Oh, that's the wrong Golden Brilliant. I'm sorry. There are two Golden Brilliants. Here's the oil chemical tanker, Golden Brilliant. Now, this is the boat that was listed as having hit a mine. Again, unconfirmed. Gotta stress, unconfirmed. But there was reports from the Iranian Al-Quds Force Twitter account, state-run media, that the ship had hit a mine. And it looks like right now she's underway using engine. Again, she hasn't really covered all that much ground since yesterday. And let's see, what speed is she at? Again, doing 1 knot, so barely moving. Another vessel that was in some form of distress, the Jagpuja oil products tanker. She's also shown as underway using engine. Last updated 2 minutes ago. But again, very tight little course here, like she was drifting. Most of these boats are going nowhere. 1.1 knots. I mean, they're really just kind of sitting in place. So there's still something going on with these ships. I'm not saying they've been hijacked or anything, but they have somehow been damaged or otherwise incapacitated or affected that they're barely moving. The Andes was another. Is this the Andes? Okay, this is a different Andes. Apparently there are multiple ships of the same name. There are 3 oil product tankers known as the Andes. Let's see, is this the one from... Where is this one? This is the one in the Strait of Hormuz. Okay. So the Andes is now shown as at anchor. She didn't cover much ground last night either. Let me just verify that that was the right vessel. Let's check this one. Okay, there are 2 Andes oil tankers in this area. And actually, based on this track, I'd say this is more likely the one that I was looking at last night. But she's underway. Let's see what kind of speed. She's making good speed, 12 knots. So the Andes appears to be in good shape. The Glory Harvest was another boat, LPG tanker. Underway using engine. Again, she's going almost nowhere. I mean, this, guys, if you've never spent a lot of time on a boat, a course like this could just be the ship drifting in the current. And then, here they decide, okay, we're going to get moving. They kick on the engines, fire them up. They move a little bit just to reposition, and then they turn the engine off and they drift some more. I mean, this ship is going nowhere fast. Lose the track, and let's see what speed. 3.8 knots, so she's moving a little faster than some of the others. But again, something is going on with the Glory Harvest. And last one, I'll check the Baikal. The Baikal is still showing as not under command. And again, she's really just kind of going in circles, barely going anywhere. So it doesn't seem like the story is over, but it kind of seems like the story never started, doesn't it? again, nearly a dozen vessels affected by some form of, I'm hesitant to even use the word attack because I can't verify that. It could have been a hack. It could have been some form of mines. I honestly don't know. Nobody's saying anything about it. So there's no way to get accurate information. But I can tell you these boats, these things are big, heavy boats that cost a lot of money to operate. And if they're sitting in the middle of the busiest waterway in the world doing circles, something is up. All right. And somebody in our press, in our government, somebody needs to address this. We need to know what is going on here. This is too important to just sweep under the rug. So, considering its importance, let's see what our illustrious media has to say. Fox News, COVID, Zuckerberg, the Cuomos. Let's just do a Control F tanker. Nothing. Control F hijack. Nothing. Control F Iran. Okay, there is an Iranian immigrant story about a Pennsylvania school board meeting. That's it. Nope. Nothing. Thanks, Fox News. CNN. Let's try them. Maybe we'll have better luck with CNN. Let's see. Cuomo. No. COVID. Olympics. Okay. Let's see. Let's look for tanker. Nothing. How about hijack? Nothing on the front page. Iran? Nothing on the front page. Wow. Bride speaks out 1 year after her wedding video went viral. That's a story that I'm just dying to hear more about. Not the possibility of the Iranians shutting down the most important waterway in the world, adding to inflation problems and spiking an energy crisis. No, I want to know about this bride and her viral wedding video 1 year later. That's the kind of stuff that keeps life interesting, you know? Jeez. All right, MSNBC, our last best hope for journalistic integrity. Let's see. Trump trying to block his taxes. Again, I said it last night. He's not president anymore. Find something else to write about. For example, tankers being hijacked in the Strait of Hormuz. There's something you could write about that people might actually be interested in. Cuomo brothers betrayed America. Okay, great. Very interesting. I'm sick of the Cuomo story already. But let's see. Let's Control F tanker. Nothing. Control F hijack. Nothing. Control F Iran. Nothing. Nothing. No. Oh, but Matt Damon's bizarre controversy reveals the twisted cultural norm of the daughter effect. Yes, please tell us more about that. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Now, again, that's just the front page. There have been stories written, but they are as vaguely worded as this one about how the hijacking has just ended. And no word on the status of the ship, the crew, nothing. So there is still information coming out, but it is an unbearable trickle. And I found I get a better, more accurate picture of what's going on by looking at the marine traffic and following the actual status of these ships in real time. And unfortunately, going on Twitter and seeing what people are saying and then trying to somehow confirm or deny that. If you guys have any links or anything or have any other knowledge or information related to the story, I would love to hear it. Feel free to send me an email or post in the comments down below. I would love to hear that. Also, if you're here, thank you, first of all, for coming to this video. Please don't forget to like it and subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification bell. I'm going to do my best to follow this story. I'm not a journalist. I'm just a dude with a YouTube channel that likes to cover financial topics, and I think this is a very important financial topic. So I'm going to keep covering it. Hopefully somebody else starts covering it eventually also. But again, I'm not a journalist. No journalist background. I am, nobody special. There is nothing special about me. Just a dude with a YouTube channel. So please keep that in mind. I'll do my best not to spread FUD, not to spread rumors, but I'm kind of winging this here. I guess that is it. Oh, oil prices. The last thing I wanted to do is I wanted to talk about oil prices because, again, this just blows me away that oil is down 2% today. I could not believe that when I saw it. Oil is down 2%. Iran is hijacking tankers in the Strait of Hormuz, and oil is down 2% on the news. I mean, this is now the second day of the story, and look, I mean, nothing but down over the last few days. And if this is the Yahoo Finance page for crude oil futures, and look at the stories we've got. Nothing. Crude stockpiles rise, gas draws down. Okay, that might explain why oil is down today. Oil remains on track. Third story, unexpected rise in inventories, Motley Fool. Still nothing about this issue in Iran. Still scrolling down here. Still nothing about what's going on in the Strait of Hormuz. How is that possible? I don't know. You guys tell me. Am I making a bigger deal out of this story than it is? Is this? I hate the phrase "nothing burger," but I'll use it because it's so unbearably cliche. It used to be funny, it used to be witty, but now it's just overused. But is this story the nothing burger that everyone else in the world seems to think it is? Am I making too big a deal out of this? Keep me honest here, folks. Should I let this one go? I don't know. I'm going to keep following it. If I see more information, if I get anything else, I guess I'll keep updating it. But the rest of the world seems content to just walk away from this one. So we'll see. Anyways, guys, thanks for your time. Again, if you have any information, please drop a comment down below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel. That would really help me out. In the meantime, live small and dream big.